Beneath the quiet surface of farmland and forest, an unexpected battle is unfolding. A single species, resilient, intelligent, and fast-spreading, is reshaping entire ecosystems and threatening the stability of global agriculture. Fields vanish overnight, crops collapse in silence, and the balance between nature and cultivation grows ever more fragile. This is not a story of predators and prey, but of adaptation and survival, and how humans are learning to fight back using science, strategy, and cooperation across vast stretches of farmland. From quiet valleys to open plains, a silent struggle is taking place. It isn't between nations, nor is it driven by politics or technology. It's a biological battle, one between people who work the land and an animal that refuses to be controlled. The wild boar, what started decades ago as a small, scattered population, has turned into one of the most serious agricultural and ecological challenges of our time. The wild boar, resilient, adaptive, and intelligent, has transformed into a global problem. In many regions, its impact rivals that of droughts or floods. Fields that once yielded abundant harvests are now left shredded overnight. The scale of the damage is staggering. Each year, wild boars cause billions of dollars in agricultural losses worldwide. They uproot freshly planted crops before the first seedlings even appear. They flatten corn and rice fields like living bulldozers, tear through irrigation systems, and ruin fences meant to protect livestock. But it doesn't stop at crops. Their rooting behavior destroys soil structure, increases erosion, and alters water flow patterns, damage that can take years to repair. For small-scale farmers, the financial impact can be devastating. A single night's invasion can erase months of labor and investment. And for rural communities that rely on farming income, the losses ripple outward, from local food markets to regional supply chains. The challenge lies not only in the destruction itself, but in the adaptability of the animals causing it. Wild boars are among the most intelligent and cunning species in the animal kingdom. They don't simply wander aimlessly in search of food. They plan, observe, and adapt when one field becomes dangerous. They move to another under cover of darkness. They learn to recognize vehicles and avoid the sound of engines. Once they've encountered a trap, they rarely fall for it again. In some areas, they've been observed testing fences and revisiting them later when humans have left. Their intelligence has made traditional control methods increasingly ineffective. But intelligence alone doesn't explain their success. What truly drives their unstoppable spread is reproduction. Wild boars mature rapidly and reproduce at an extraordinary rate. A single female can birth multiple litters each year, often producing half a dozen piglets at a time. This means that even a small, isolated group can expand into hundreds within just a few years. And because they have few natural predators in many regions, their populations grow unchecked. Ecologists describe it as an invasion curve, the point at which control transitions from possible to nearly impossible. Once wild boars become established in a new area, complete eradication becomes a distant goal. The best that can be achieved is containment and population management. For landowners, that means joining forces with wildlife specialists, conservationists, and hunters to slow the advance. Across several countries, coordinated control programs have become a vital line of defense. Trained teams use a combination of surveillance cameras, GPS tracking, and remotely triggered traps to capture entire groups, known as sounders, before they can scatter. Modern technology has become an unlikely ally in this rural conflict. Drones equipped with thermal imaging now scan farmland at night, detecting heat signatures that reveal boar movement. Satellite data helps predict migration routes and identify high-risk zones based on vegetation and water availability. Artificial intelligence is even being tested to analyze camera footage and automate early warnings. but technology alone cannot win this battle. The success of these programs depends heavily on cooperation among local communities. Farmers share data, hunters report sightings, and wildlife officers coordinate removal strategies that minimize harm to other species. The approach has shifted from reactive to preventive, from chasing the animals after damage occurs to predicting where they'll strike next. Yet, despite these efforts, wild boars remain one of the most persistent adversaries in modern agriculture. They are survivors by design. Their keen sense of smell can detect food buried beneath layers of soil. Their thick hides protect them from minor injuries, and their ability to thrive in nearly any environment, from wetlands to deserts, makes them almost impossible to isolate. Beyond farming, their presence also poses ecological and public health concerns. Wild boars compete with native species for food, damage nesting grounds, and spread invasive plants through their feeding habits. In some regions, they've become carriers of diseases that can affect both wildlife and domestic animals. For example, swine fever outbreaks in recent years have been linked to feral populations, threatening commercial livestock industries worth billions to address this. Many governments have launched long-term management initiatives. These programs combine science-based monitoring with public awareness campaigns, teaching landowners how to identify tracks, report sightings, and secure their properties. Some regions have implemented incentive systems that reward communities for collective management, recognizing that no single farm can solve the problem alone. Still, the battle continues. Every success story, every area cleared or population reduced, requires constant vigilance. If control efforts stop for even a single season, numbers rebound rapidly. It's a cycle that demands consistency, resources, and innovation. Researchers continue to study the behavioral ecology of these animals in hopes of finding new solutions. Understanding how they communicate, choose nesting sites, and respond to human activity could hold the key to smarter, more humane control strategies. Genetic research is also exploring whether population control could one day be achieved through fertility-based interventions rather than hunting or trapping. At the community level, the relationship between farmers and wildlife managers has evolved. It's no longer just about protection. It's about coexistence within limits. Farmers are encouraged to integrate deterrent systems like electric fencing, motion sensors, and noise repellents, while also preserving habitats to keep the animals from venturing into human-dominated zones. Despite the tension, many experts acknowledge that the wild boar's resilience tells a larger story, one about nature's ability to adapt to human influence. Their survival, while destructive to agriculture, is also a reminder of how ecosystems respond to imbalance. Human expansion, land conversion, and the absence of natural predators have created the perfect stage for this species to thrive. So, the question facing the modern world isn't just how to eliminate wild boars, but how to manage the consequences of an environment reshaped by human hands. Every strategy, from advanced trapping networks to research-driven management, reflects a deeper understanding that nature, when disturbed, always finds a way to restore itself, often in unexpected forms. As the sun sets over the fields, the quiet countryside masks the ongoing contest between man and nature. Beneath the surface, the battle continues, farmers guarding their harvests, scientists studying patterns, and wildlife teams working to restore balance. There are no clear victories here, only small steps forward. Each one a reminder that in this vast landscape, control is temporary, but adaptation is permanent. The wild boar remains both a symbol of resilience and a challenge to human ingenuity, a living test of how far technology, cooperation, and respect for nature can go in preserving the delicate balance of our shared environment. And as the struggle unfolds, Across farmlands and forests alike, one truth stands firm. The fight is not about domination, but about understanding, learning how to protect the soil that feeds us, while respecting the creatures that share it. Because in the end, every plowed field, every repaired fence, and every harvested crop is part of a larger story, one that reminds us that balance, not conquest, is the only way forward.